Today I want to show you how to do a Mary tag and kind of walk you through my process of adding flourishing. So I'm just gonna draw on one of my tags, a little baseline here in pencil. And I tried to draw it lightly so that I can erase it after. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna write my word. So the word I'm doing is Mary, so I'm gonna do an M, and I'm not gonna add anything over here to the beginning of the M. That's like in your workbook, I believe it has like a little upstroke. I'm not gonna add anything to the bottom of this either right now. What I like to do is kind of fill in, not loving that E. I kind of like to fill everything in with the basic shape of the letters, and then after that, I like to add in some flourishing. So, for example, this is how I would start. So you can see the M's not really finished, the Y isn't really finished, and now that I'm looking at it, my other letters have a little bit more of a slant, so I'm just gonna fix this M real quick. This is why I love pencil, is I love being able to fix things so I can get them just how I want them. I think we see a lot of videos online where it's just like, oh, this person just drew this and it looks perfect the first try. And I think a lot of people do several versions, you know? So it's okay to use pencil and erase. Okay, so I'm feeling good about this. And the theory or the concept that I like to use when flourishing is if you add it to the north side, you'd add it to the south side. If you add it to the east side, you'd add it to the west side. So you just want this whole tag or your whole phrase or your whole composition to look balanced. So I'm gonna start with this M. I'm gonna do a little upstroke here, like that, and then I'm gonna add a little flourish on the bottom of the M. So I've added something kind of to the side and to the bottom, so I need to add something to this side and to the top to balance it out. So with my Y, when I loop it, maybe I'll come up here and do something like that. So then that way it's kind of balanced all around. And then what I would do is I would just go over it with pen and then erase it. And so this is a time when you can kind of fix things as you're going. So if you're not loving something totally, you can fix it while you're drawing over it. If you're feeling confident, you don't have to do pencil, but I just really prefer it. I think things turn out better that way for me. So for example, you can see I didn't follow the Y exactly right there. And I did stop drawing right here because this big loop is gonna be harder. So I'm gonna come up and I'm actually gonna change that loop to be like that. So you see, I didn't follow the pencil exactly, but close. So that's one example, and I wanted to show you one, and I'm not gonna erase it yet because it's drying, so I'm just gonna put that up there. The other example I wanted to show you was using flourishing to have it extend off of the tag, which I think can be really fun. So if I'm gonna put this piece of paper under, and say I wanna write Merry Christmas. So I'm just gonna write Merry in all caps, and I'm gonna start with the R in the center, and I'm gonna work my way to the right, and then I'm gonna work my way to the left, and that way I know things are centered. You'll also notice my cap letters are at an angle, just like how, you know, my regular letters would be at an angle. So they're not just straight up and down. It looks better when you also angle the letter. So I have that, and then I want to do Christmas, but I want it to kind of move off of the tag. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pretend as if, so if I was still drawing, I'm not gonna finish it yet, I'm gonna get the whole word in here. So you can see this is really where the whole S is, but it's cut off from the tag. And I think that's okay. And then I'm gonna take this part of the S and I'm gonna move it up to do something like that. I have to cross my T. And then I could add something to the C here, you know, a big loop thing like that. So then when you look at it, you can still read it, but it's kind of extending off of the tag. And add something there. And so this was kind of the same thing where you're adding something to the left side, you'd add it to the right side, and then it comes out looking pretty balanced. And so if I'm gonna draw that in, I would just go over it with pen. And then erase the pencil afterward. I did draw the pencil kind of dark for this video, but normally if I'm just doing it on something I'm working on, I would normally do it a little bit lighter. So I could break that R to have it come down right there. That's something that's a little different. And I'm actually gonna see if I can get the S a little more complete there. So more of it's showing on the tag than on the background. So there's the tag. So then after that, I would go back, I'm gonna let it dry for a while and then I'll erase it. But that's kind of the basic concept, is once you kind of have basics of your letters, then look at it and say, where can I add some flourishing or some extra loops to make it look more balanced? Or if you want to just keep it simple, just don't put any loops on at all, and that's totally fine too. If you guys have any specific names or specific things that you're trying to write and it's getting hard or you're not sure how to do it, just comment on this post and let me know, and I'll do a little drawing for you of how I would do it so you have an example to see.